Monetization in gaming is no new thing, especially if you play MMORPGs where it is quite literally everywhere, and BDO is no exception to that. So in today's video, I'm going to be covering items that I think you should buy versus items that I think you shouldn't buy. But before we get into that, I did want to mention that 98.6% of you guys are not subscribed. So if you do like my content or you enjoy the channel, feel free to drop a sub and maybe even a like. Alright guys, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So before we get started with going through the Pearl Shop and talking about what you should buy and what you should not buy, let me go ahead and kind of explain what I mean when I say an item is worth buying versus when an item is not worth buying. So when an item is worth buying, it is an item that you cannot purchase through the central market. It's an item that adds permanent value to your account, and it is an item that you seldomly get through events or like some items in the game. You can go ahead and get them through the redeemables with tokens or things like that. When an item is not worth purchasing, it is an item that has either absolutely no value. It is an item that we get very commonly through events or coupon codes, things like that. Or it is an item that is easily accessible on the central market. You're just going to have to wait a little bit of time until you get it. So let's go ahead and let's jump into that. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and touch on the items that I think you absolutely shouldn't get. Then after we finish that, we're going to go ahead and touch on the loyalty items and then go into the items that you should get. So the items that I think you shouldn't get are going to be the item branding stone. So the item brand stone, the reason why I say that you shouldn't get this, even though this is a very useful item, is purely because we do get this item enough, whether it is through like events or it's an item that you can get through like a story quest or something along those lines. But this item is very easy to get. The next thing that we're going to look at is the premium container. This item is just laughable, and I think it's absolutely a cash grab that this is on here. It's not even useful whatsoever. The premium container allows you to access any of the storages in town so long as you have been to that town through your home in game. Now, the reason why I say that that's not worth having is because nowadays you can just hit Control F and search an item, or you can also go over to the nearest town storage. Okay, as you can see from the storage, you're allowed to access any of the storages that you have in the game. I can go ahead and take this Garmoth Stone from the Duvenkroon storage in Dregan and put it straight into my inventory. I do not need this. The only thing that changes is the fact that it is in your house. If I open this up, oh look, it allows me to look at the storages and pull items out. Okay, the next couple of items we're going to touch on are going to be the equipment tailoring coupon, the compass, and the skill preset coupon. So we're going to go ahead and start with the equipment tailoring coupon. So the equipment tailoring coupon is really useful in the event that you want to take an outfit. Now, there are only certain outfits that can be used with this, and turn it into its own outfit to where you can put a crystal into it. That's going to open up another crystal slot on your crystal page to where you have just a little bit more build diversity, but it is not worth purchasing from the cash shop because we do get these through events. We do get these through special boxes. I think you even get one of these going through seasonal. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Anytime you guys see something that I'm wrong about, just go ahead and let me know. Be like, hey man, that's not the case anymore. No worries. The next item we're going to touch on is the compass. The reason why I say that this is an absolutely don't buy is because you can just go to the central marketplace and you can buy 3 compass pieces and have a compass for like, I think it's 7 days. Or you can go ahead and do the treasure grind like I'm doing on Twitch, where I am going for the treasure compass to where you have a permanent compass. And that one also allows you to teleport people to your location. So now we're going to go ahead and touch on the skill preset coupon. The reason why I say that the skill preset coupon is absolutely not worth getting. There's only like 4 of them that you need, 4 or 5, and you get these through doing your awakening quests, your succession quests, things like that. You can just get them through quests. It's absolutely not worth getting. Just like these fitness experience exchange coupons, breath exchange coupons, strength exchange coupons, health. Don't get these. It's laughable. Literally all you have to do is join a guild and access the guild storage if they have juices, and if they allow you to, make sure you ask first, and then go ahead and take some juices out, and boom, you can power level all of your stats. Okay, so now we're going to get to the controversial item on this list, and that is going to be outfits. Now, before you guys go crazy on me, the reason why I say that outfits are not a absolute must buy for your account is because while yes, they do offer good buffs, and yes, fashion skins equal wins does take into account here, I look pretty as hell. But a majority of these outfits, excluding mine, you can get from the Essential Marketplace. So all you literally have to do is look up the outfit that you want. For example, I think Rose Noir you can't get, but certain outfits, like for example Rosalind, I'm pretty certain I can just go to the Central Market. So I would look here for Lawn, so Rosalind Lawn outfit set. I can put a pre-order on it. And as you can see, there's 8 pre-orders up. It was sold on the 11th, so 4 days ago. Just look up the outfit, make sure it's in the shop. If it's in the shop, go ahead and drop a pre-order on it. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about loyalties. So whenever it comes to loyalties, the only things that I think are worth getting in here are the character slot expansion coupon, the weight, the family inventory expansion, and the family weight. But outside of that, everything else is worthless in here. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about the items that I absolutely think you should get. So if you do a bunch of life skilling, and let's be real, a lot of us do a bunch of life skilling stuff while AFK, these outfits can only be purchased from the Pearl Shop. You cannot get them through any other means. Now, the ones that we're going to be looking at are going to be the Canape, the Pavilla, and the Venasil dress set. So whenever it comes to the Canape outfit, it is going to give you plus 15% cooking XP, but the main thing we're looking at is the minus 2 second on the cooking time. It's going to be the same thing for the Pavilla set for your alchemy instead. It's going to be the same exact stuff, but only for alchemy. And then the Venasil dress set, this is going to be for those of you that do processing while AFK. So this is going to get you a processing success rate of plus 3%, as well as being able to process items directly from the storage, and the finished product goes into your inventory. So for example, let's say you have like 5k wood sitting in the storage, and you don't want to put that in your inventory because it'll end up making you go overweight. So just leave it in the storage, you'll click process, and then it will start processing that, and all the processed material is going to go straight to your inventory and not weigh you down with the extra wood. That is why these items are super beneficial if you're doing any life skilling things. So now we're going to go ahead and touch on weight. Now, weight is a really important thing to have, and it's going to really help you out in the long term. Whether you are life skilling or grinding, having more weight is a super important thing, but it is also a double-edged sword. Do not purchase weight until you have decided which character is going to be your main character. The reason why I say this is because weight is only character bound. It is not family bound. If you were to purchase this 350 weight, make sure you do it on the character that you want it, because it is bound the second that you purchase it, and it cannot be used on any other character. So all the weight that I purchase on my lawn is only for my lawn. It does not go to any other character. So make sure that you are on the character that you want to main whenever you start sinking money into weight. The next thing that we're going to go ahead and touch on is going to be storage maids. I'm touching on storage maids over transaction maids because storage maids have way more uses in my opinion. So with the storage maid, it's going to be more beneficial whenever you're out grinding or whenever you're doing like big life skill runs. So whenever you are grinding or doing big life skill runs and you start to get overweight, you can easily just open up the storage maid and then send all of those materials to the storage of the nearest town or whatever town you choose. And then these have a cooldown of 20 minutes. So long as you're not getting full, which is why I said you want to buy more weight, is you can end up using that weight advantage to then make it to where you are infinitely able to just throw things into your storage mates. Now, the next thing we're going to touch on is going to be your value pack, your Kama Blessing, and your Secret Book of Old Moon. Now, all of these items are pretty much essential. You can play the game without these. It's just, for example, you're going to make less money because you're going to lose 30% silver through the market, or you're going to carry less, you're going to have less inventory slots, you're going to have less storage slots, you're going to get less drop rates, and on top of that, you're also not going to be able to get your buffs These are all super beneficial to have. You can put pre-orders in for them and let them sit on the market. Eventually they will fill, but it does take a long time. Now, the very last item that we're going to go ahead and touch on is going to be the Naftar campsite, or the Nafart campsite. I don't know why I said Naftar. The Nafart campsite. Now, the benefits to having the Nafart campsite are all the things that it allows you to do. So let me go ahead and set mine down. So with my tent set down, I have access to a few things. I have access to a 200 LT storage, which I never use. I have access to repair my gear. Now, the repair works for your horse gear, it works for all of your combat gear, it works for all of your life skill gear. So if you're running circles, whether it's grinding or life skilling, you can immediately repair all of your tools here so you can stay at your place longer. The next thing that we're going to touch on is the shop. You're only going to be looking at this for the buffs. So in a recent patch, whenever they changed the Node Wars, they did end up making it to where you can purchase your church buffs from the tent, which this was a huge change. W change, one of the only W changes out of that patch. So you can get your church buffs, so you're not having to run to town to go ahead and buy these before you grind. But you're also going to be purchasing the drop rate buff. I usually only ever purchase the 50 mil buff. But the last and most important thing on here, in my opinion, is access to the Villa Scroll. So the Old Moon, the Book of Old Moon, allows you to purchase these Villa buffs from your tent. If you didn't have the Book of Old Moon, you would have to go all the way out and get a villa coupon from one of the villas in the desert just to be able to use these with your tent. So having the Book of Old Moon gives you access to being able to use all these buffs. This way you're able to fully buff up for your life skill stuff, or fully buff up for combat and being able to do PvP better, or being able to grind better. All these things are going to help you out more and more. All of these buffs compound on top of each other to give you an even better experience while you're grinding or while you're life skilling. You're just going to end up getting more in total. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys liked it or it helped you in any way, please be sure to drop a like down below. And if you guys want to see me live, you can catch me over at twitch.tv/that1va. I stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 a.m. CST to 11 a.m. CST. And then Thursdays, I stream 11 a.m. CST to 5 p.m. CST. We'd love to see you guys over there, so if you want to come hang out or ask any questions that you might have, feel free to swing by. Take it easy, guys, and remember, stay safe.